Morning, good morning, good morning. My goodness, it's such a great Saturday morning that I hear people talk around the country, and I saw in the chat, I believe we have temperatures from minus 20 degrees to plus 90. So I would say we have a pretty broad range of areas. We don't have to ask what city or what country you're from. If you've got minus 20 and some people got 90, we know that they're definitely a ways apart. And in Tennessee, I never mentioned it, but we are below freezing and going to 5 degrees this coming Friday. I can't believe it, which is very rare for us. We may even get a quiet Christmas, as they say. But guys, this morning is a special morning for multiple reasons. We have some great testimonials, but we also have the ownership here with us, the new CEO. I can't say enough great things about what's going on. My phone's going to start blowing up. I can see that happening. It's binging already, so I'm going to get that turned off. But guys, as we get started every Saturday morning, for those that may be the first time to visit on the Saturday morning, we always do a few testimonials about what the amazing products do for people. And we're going to start by highlighting just about 3 or 4 people before we get into some other things. That there's so many leaders on this. I mean, I'm a little overwhelmed because of the leadership that we've got that's already on this call this morning. This call has been running for about 6 years. Is that right, Todd? You're muted, Todd. You're muted. You know, coaches, they got to always be told what, how to run.
We're not technology.
He's telling me how to do things. He can't even unmute himself. So go ahead, Todd.
I just wanted to, TL Epic, Deb Ken Schneider. There's just so many Canadians that show up to this call every Saturday, but they're in force today. I heard that name more than any. Nigeria's here. South Africa's here. There's so many leaders. Just kudos to everybody.
Absolutely. It's just exciting. I think Ken Bailey, I'm going to use his words, exciting times ahead. That's one of the things I hear him say a lot, post a lot. And we are excited, but we still want to talk about a few things. I'm going to introduce a lady. She doesn't know she's going first. But when I joined this company right at 11 years ago, one of the first ladies I met was Arlene Hutchison. And I don't even know her age. I'm not going to ask. She lives up in the mountains. They cut firewood. They do a lot of amazing things. And I am going to give her a hard time because I heard she was traveling the country and she stopped and visited all kinds of people. And I found out after the fact she was in Tennessee and did not come see me.
I didn't know you lived there. I would have come and had and sat in your living room and visited with you. But thanks, Chris, for inviting us. And yes, I am 85. So just to clear the deck here. But I want to just share some passions, why I'm so passionate and I love this industry, love this company. And most of all is I've got many, many reasons, but there are 3 that I'll mention this morning. One is I am been tutored and have had the privilege and honor of being trained and done some training with Tim Sales for the last 19 years and with Stefan Page for the last 11 years. Another one is that my husband and I retired full-time in this business about 13 years ago, and we have the privilege of working together side by side with, I have the privilege of working side by side with my wonderful husband in the middle of the National Forest up here east of Park City. And then my last, one other important event that's happened in my life is I was blessed to work with my son side by side, day by day, and build a big business before for his untimely death. So if you've ever lost a child, you'll understand how precious those memories are to me. But I love this company. I love working with you, Chris and Todd and Brent and all of you. That's another blessing of this company, of the family we have. So thank you for asking me.
Well, Ms. Arlene, you've been a blessing to all of us as well. And it's just always great to see people's smiling faces. We see you all the time. I know you went and got a haircut yesterday because I follow you. I don't make a lot of comments. I'm not that Facebook guy that does a lot of things, but great things happening. And we're gonna have to move quickly. But thank you so much for being willing to join us this morning. And I hope Ernest is with us. Ernest Starks. I didn't see you pop up, but I hope you're here. Hey, Ernest. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We want to get a product update on what's going on with you, because you're the person that I think got started because of the Renew, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe not. Maybe it was more, but something got you started.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. It was more, and thank you all for the opportunity, because more actually transformed my life after I had COVID. After spending so many days teaching tennis, now that I've been on more, I no longer have to elevate my legs because of the swelling in my ankles. I no longer have to put ice on my back of my neck whenever I'm hurting. But the real blessing with more is all of my life, I've had high blood pressure. And for the first time, I've been able to keep it under control on a daily basis. And more importantly, I only have one kidney, and that kidney has a cyst on it. And my doctor told me something for the first time ever. He said, Coach, just keep doing what you are doing, and you may never have to go on the dialysis machine. And that's worth saying, thank you, Lord. And
Ernest, did we lose him?
We did.
He may have got bopped off. One thing I want to add, we don't heal, treat, or diagnose anything. Everybody's experiences are different. I can tell you from my personal life, it's, there's no question that I've felt some effects, but we don't heal, treat, or diagnose anything, and certainly never recommend anyone not to take their doctor's advice. But I think we lost Ernest, but he teaches tennis every day. And I don't know Ernest's age, but I know he's older than me, and I can't imagine playing tennis every day, so much less teaching tennis every day. Todd?
Yep. Chris, I just wanted to finish his Ernest story. Ernest only started for the product, but when the Renew and Moa made such a difference, he's now built a team to about 100 people. Him and Sonia Infinger work together up there in Huntsville, and they are just exploding. So Ernest is a leader in the field now and going full time.
I believe he's Catalyst level 2 already. Am I correct?
He is, and he put in 15 the month before. So he's like, why did they launch this 1 month earlier?
Well, that's the kind of the way it works sometimes. You never know exactly what's going on with that. And you know what? We're going to go to Canada now. You mentioned Canada. Someone who we know is going to be here every Saturday. Marlene, you with us, Marlena?
I am here. Thank you.
I believe you have been at this call every Saturday for, I can't remember the last time that I don't know you hadn't been here. A couple of years, maybe.
I think I started joining this call as soon as Nucerity merged with RX. So it's been a while now, and we love these calls because it brings us all together, and it gives us an opportunity to share and to learn and to grow. For myself, Skincerity is what brought me into this company, into this business, and TL introduced me to that product 11 years ago now, and it's made such a difference in my life. But then I got a hold of Venali, which has made a huge difference for me in being able to breathe better. My asthma symptoms have been reduced dramatically using Venali, and Noni has improved things again even more. It's just been absolutely incredible, and the opportunity to finally get out of Canada and be able to go to Florida and then to Utah in October. We as Canadians had been locked up basically for so long that being able to get out and come and meet so many of you and have those experiences has been absolutely incredible. And being in Utah in October was a huge starting point for so many of us in reigniting our businesses. And we're so excited to be here and to be part of this.
We love to have you. And we shout out to, we've got so many Canadians that are so huge. I know I saw Deb join us as well. TL is always here as well. Guys, we love our Canadians. It's just amazing that the friendships. You make that comment, the friendships, and Deb has no idea I'm going to call on her, but since she's got her Santa hat on. And McKen, I don't know. I think she looks better in her hat than you. Sorry. Deb, why don't you, you didn't know I was going to call on you, but why don't you talk about how you feel about what's going on?
Marlene, you said it really well. And it was, it's so great to be a part of this large team of people that have no borders. And so that's what's so special, you guys. You welcome us, we welcome you. And Utah and Florida, Marlene, you're right, was absolutely incredible. And, it gave us certainty of our future. And no matter what winds come, we feel that with all of you around us, we can surpass any wind, right, Kenny?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it was amazing.
Amazing.
And we're honored to be here.
Yeah, we're excited about the friendships we've developed. Still remember the day I met you guys and we were introduced. It's funny how you remember the moments. I think we were in the line getting some food and you were making me feel bad because you were getting healthy stuff and I was getting the junk. So anyway, we're going to move on to Nic Papas because we want to make sure all countries get represented. Nic Papas is here from South Africa. He's always, I don't even know what time zone he's on, but he's certainly way different than everybody. I wore my Santa hat last week and now everybody's got on Santa hats. So dang. Anyway, Nic.
Mine's got lights.
Lights up.
Yeah, well, from the African continent, from South Africa, I'm talking for all of us here. We are super, super excited. The journey's been great. The journey's had its challenges, but you know what? Good things don't come easy, as they say. And on behalf of every single one of us here on this continent, we love you all. We're happy to connect with everybody. We've become one big family, and we look forward to 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Nic. I appreciate you bringing that up. And now I'm gonna call somebody out, and actually maybe a couple of them, because it was pointed out to us last week that coaches, Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, and myself have been running this call, and like, so who's the lady who's running the call? I see her start to laugh, and I'm like, well, good point. So now I'm really going to call her. Dr. Kristal Vance has brought up the fact that we don't have enough ladies on the call, so she's now officially a co-host. She's official co-host on Saturday mornings and doesn't even know it yet.
Good gosh. Okay, here's the thing, people. Be careful what you complain about, because if you're going to complain about it, you better ante up when you do. So, you know what? I'll get up every Saturday morning and be here. You want to know why? Because you guys are my people. And there is one thing I know, we do make each other better, but we have to make sure we gather around the fire consistently for that to happen. So I think you holding my feet to my complaining about there not being enough women on this call, this is a good thing for me, and I'm excited. I'm excited for 2023. It's going to absolutely rock.
I'm excited as well. And Andrea Rosser is another lady that, well, I'm not going to she does a Sunday call, so we won't make her be up every time. And we all do a lot of calls, but we're all excited about what's going on. Andrea said she's kind of a quiet type. She's like, I don't need to talk. She didn't want to put herself on the flyer. So Andrea, why don't you, I see the Christmas trees in the background, so we know you're getting ready for Christmas.
Well, I said that I would smile and nod because I feel like that is a strength that I have, but always excited to be plugged in. Love these calls. I do tune into them every week, typically not with the camera on. I appreciate a day with no camera, but love being on here, love being plugged in with this group. And we've just have an absolute powerhouse. I'm excited for this morning. I can't wait.
Well, thank you,
Chris.
Hey,
I want to let everybody know, all 264 people on here, Chris Doyle muted my line and did not make me a co-host this morning, only because so I'm sitting here trying to unmute my line and I couldn't unmute it when Arlene and Enos was on, because he's jealous that they came to Alabama and saw me and skipped over Tennessee and didn't see him. So Arlene, I know that you like me better. Okay. And I tried to unmute earlier to say that. Chris blocked me. So I appreciate, Arlene, you being on this morning and edifying me by coming to Alabama. So Chris, I'll turn it back to you, buddy.
I'm just going to give you a hard time, because if I recall, for all those who make her call when during football season, Coach Palmer was supposed to wear orange one day after the Volunteers beat the Tide. I've yet to see any orange on his body, but he keeps promising. So
next Saturday, I'll be in orange.
Christmas
Chris,
Eve.
you might need to send him an orange shirt. Like you might need to provide it.
I've got him.
He keeps telling me that, but I never see it. So I'm going to change gears here. We don't really have, listen, if you've been here on Saturday mornings, you know that we shoot from the hip. There's never really an exact agenda. We really don't. We kind of write the names down so I don't forget anybody. And but I'm with Tracy Turnberg. I hope he's here. And I didn't even look, but he said he's supposed to be here. Tracy, you here?
I am here, Chris. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm going to let you do something that you don't know you're about today, because, oh, by the way, there's James. Hold on, Tracy, on another note, James, another guy Here's what I think what you ought to see is this is so many cross lines here. Except for Coach Palmer, there's a couple of people on Coach Palmer's team, but James is cross line to all of us. His upline is great people, love you and all. But James has been so helpful for so many. James, I want you just give us a couple of minutes on how you feel about what's going on.
I'm so pumped to be here. Put a 1 in the chat if you're excited to be here too. It's an honor. I feel like we're huddled around a Christmas fire, coming together as a family. And this is the last Saturday, right? We've seen a lot of you guys this entire time. And what I love about this call, Chris, is it really is a family gathering. And I'm just honored that everyone here is on here tonight. I look at it across the lines, and what I see are the next leaders of this next generation, this next phase. And I know today we're going to be getting some really, really cool insights. And I'm just already thinking about next year. So I guess my thought today, and something to consider too, is next year, coming back onto a call like this, what title are you going to be? What success stories are going to have? Who are you going to be helping? And what's going to be the story the next time? And I'm expecting more people to be spotlighted on this call next year, hosting your calls like everyone here is doing as well too. So I'm thrilled and pumped for the future, and I'm excited to be here. Thanks for the time.
I'm glad you're here, James, and love your friendship. We've really become friends since we've been working together. And obviously that's one of the things that the relationships you build here are hard to explain. But someone I don't know that I have the best relation. No, I'm just going to give him a hard time. Tracy Turnberg is someone I met. Brent gives the hardest time. He's always picking on him. So I don't think Tracy needs anybody else to do that. But Tracy, you have been, I would like for you to introduce John Wadsworth, because you've known him much longer than I have. You've worked with him longer. I mean, we're like a family that's all come together. When you start hearing Marlene say Nucerity, and you hear somebody, and Brent is the Limu guy, we're all a team together. We all had something that led us here. Funny, everybody in their case, I'm the only guy that will tell you I was here because of the compensation plan. I didn't know about the products. I didn't want to use products. I didn't want to be in the health and industry. That wasn't me. I like to make money, and the compensation plan led me here. Then I had a transformation as well, where the products have made amazing differences in my life. And I was looking at everything I was taking. I'm like, if I tried to list everything I use every day, it'd be unbelievable. But Tracy, I'd like for you to, because we have obviously two special guests today with John and Darrin, and I want you to introduce John. He's got some guests there in Puerto Rico. So, but you've known him much longer than I have. So I'm going to turn that to you.
Hey, I appreciate it, Chris. And like everybody, I'm super excited to be here. My journey started with Tahish Noni 20 years ago. And, I was 29 years old. I remember walking into my very first conference in January of 2003. And, Noni, let's just face it, it's an older product demographic. And I looked around, and there's a lot of older people. When you're 29, everybody seems old. Now I'm one of those old people. And I remember meeting this guy, John Wadsworth. We called him JR at the time. And I'm like, dude, there's a young dude. There's a young dude that we could connect with, because we were both in the same age demographic. But John's story is incredible. He and his business partner Greg Tedrow went to Japan. Crazy success, what they sacrificed to be able to launch something when it was so brand new. And that passion, that power from back then, I see in John today. I see that newness, that like there's an opportunity here to go out and truly do something incredibly special. Like he saw that vision back in Japan when he launched it, I believe in 1998. And one thing I could tell you about John, John is he's a moral, principled person, but John is a true believer in the power of the products. He's a believer in the science. Tahiti is a part of who John Wadsworth is. And with that, John Wadsworth, I welcome you to the call. I think you've done an absolutely incredible thing for all of us, and I appreciate your friendship and your leadership that you've displayed over the years. And I love you, buddy.
Tracy, that's awesome. We were 20 somethings in a crowd of 50 somethings. It was actually super fun. I mean, I think we both got really good at being in front of a big audience as a youngster, but speaking in a way that appealed to our older demographic, because wherever we went, we were pretty much talking to older demographics. Thanks, Tracy. Hey, it's amazing to be here. We're here to talk about the future. But before we jump into the future and all of the exciting things that are coming up, I want to thank all the leaders that organized this call. I want to thank the audience, everyone who came to spend time with us around our Christmas fire, James. Thank you for that imagery. I can feel it. We're in sunny, warm Puerto Rico, but we still have Christmas spirit all around us. I wanted to do a little world recap because Darrin and I have been traveling all over the world. And we've had a chance to meet with brand partners around the world. Someone on this call today said borderless. We're part of a borderless family. It was Ken and Deb Schneider. And that is so true. We've had this opportunity. I just got back from Japan. I was there for 10 days. We did multiple events every day. And we got back to the basics. I went out to this little town outside of Tokyo called Kanazawa. And the meeting room that we had was the most spectacular meeting room I've ever seen. It's right on the edge of the ocean. It was all glass. So it had these 12-foot glass windows where you could look out over the ocean. It was right at a cruise terminal. It was a public building, so it was $100 for 2 hours. I mean, you talk about the dream location to have an event. It was spectacular. Right before we got to the event, I was with a couple other Japanese guys, and they wanted to treat me to a local delicacy. So we went to this sushi restaurant, and there's a very specific fish. Okay. In Japanese, it's nodoguro, but in English, the translation is black throat. So there's this fish that is only available for 2 months out of the year. And the delicate part of it is right here. Right? And you get this tiny little piece that in Tokyo is super expensive, but you go out in the country and it's a little less expensive, and you each get one piece. And they put a little bit of salt on it. And I took it and I put it in my mouth and I closed my eyes because I wanted to really, really experience this, because this is a special experience for the Japanese. And it did. It was a special experience. It tasted different than other types of sushi that we've been able to experience through the years. And so that's how that meeting started. I had this special cultural experience, and then I stand up in front of this audience in this beautiful location, and I'm sitting there telling the story and talking about our future, and the audience is just mesmerized. And this same level of energy is all over the world. In every location in Japan, I engaged everyone in our story and then went back to the basics. And what are the 4 pillar basics? Every one of you is managing your own business. And as you audit your own business, you want to audit it based on these 4 elements of a successful business. One is inviting new people. How am I doing at inviting new people regularly? Am I doing it every day? You know, I challenged every group that we talked to in Japan to make 1 new presentation a day, 1 new invite a day. Find someone new that you can reach out to. That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 was, do I have a specific path that I have charted out to title advance, to rank up? What is my next goal? James, you talked about this. As we enter the new year, what title are you striving for, and how are you going to get there? Right? This title advancement is a process that's built into our business that charts a course for you to always be reaching. Because as you reach, and you do things, you do hard things, but you do them consistently, that's what's going to make your life better, all aspects of your life. The third element is personal development. You know, what are you doing on a daily basis to improve yourself? Because as you improve yourself and as you help others, you know, helping others is one way to improve yourself. But having an intense desire early in the morning consistently to do something that improves your own spirit, that gives you tools and powers and the right motivation to really improve others. And the fourth element, and this is something that was super important in Japan, because we have this Catalyst Club, we have everyone reaching out to new people, everyone's everyone's doing their best to bring new people in. And there's this element of follow-up and retention that's so important to the long-term stability of the business. And that's going to be a theme today when we talk about the future, long-term stability of the business. Darrin's going to share his story in a little bit, and you will find woven into that this culture, this element of our business that ensures that it's going to be long-term and stable, something that you can rely on, something you can put your heart and soul into, something that you can pass on to future generations. Because when you have that faith and belief, and you wake up every day and you're your own boss, right? You wake up every day and you've got your plan charted out and you go put your heart and soul into bringing people into the community and helping them develop. The fact that this business is long-term, stable, generational legacy building, that's what gives you the persistence and the grit to keep going. So those 4 elements were just a huge hit in Japan. Now, Darrin, I only went to one country. I went up and down the whole country, but he got to go to multiple countries. I think he landed in London. I'll let him tell, but he went from London to Spain, from Spain to France, from France to Italy, back to Switzerland, back to France. I mean, okay, well, what was the coolest part of all this? We got to be with the people. We got to feel brand partners, many of whom are in your groups. You know, I was on a call with Australia. Australia is blowing it up with Ken and Deb Schneider. I mean, they've got Catalyst. We probably have to create a new rank like Catalyst 7. You know, there's not people that have only hit Catalyst 3. I mean, they've hit double digits and going, and we're not even close to the end, right? So we've got growth happening everywhere. Now, Darrin's going to talk a little bit about his trip, and then I've asked him to. There's a lot of new people on the call today, I think, who maybe haven't had a chance to hear his story. Darrin's story has woven into it those elements that I talked about: helping people, doing something that organically grows because the foundation is so solid, long-term stability. And as you listen to his story and you get to know him, you'll see those elements of our culture that are woven into his life experience that hopefully will become a part of all of your life experiences. So Darrin, you got back from Europe. We've both been fighting jet lag, but working night and day.
So the Europe trip was absolutely amazing. One thing that is a big takeaway from that trip is that in every single country I went to, in every group of brand partners I met with, they are fired up. They are excited for the future. They are excited for the direction of the company. They are excited for the stability that we're bringing and the focus on the future and the company being there to help them build their businesses. So it was amazing. It was really gave me a big shot of energy, helped me to refocus on why we're all here. And it was an incredible experience. Yeah, I did. In 6 days, I went from London to Spain to Switzerland to France, back to Switzerland to Italy, back to Paris, down to the Pyrenees, back to Paris again, Utah for 3 days, and back home to Puerto Rico.
So Darrin always takes night flights, right? Because he needs the daytime to get stuff done.
Yeah,
so
true.
He's flying night flight from Paris. He lands in Utah. He goes to the staff Christmas party, which that's a huge element of our business, right? We've got 600 plus employees around the world, and they're part of our family too.
Yeah.
And after Darrin did the Christmas party in Utah, I got bombarded with all these texts from people like, "Oh, we love Darrin. We're so excited for the future." These are our wonderful corporate staff that are here supporting all of us so that we can run our own independent business, but we couldn't do it without them, right? So that's how dedicated it is. Then he gets on a night flight from there to Puerto Rico, because later today we had some top leaders from Europe who were in Miami and they wanted to drop by. And so Darrin rushes back on his night flight and he lands and he comes straight over to say hi to, I'm telling you, so this is the type of CEO that you want leading the company.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy, but I love it because of these meetings with the brand partners and hearing their stories and how they inspire me. And they make my life more enriched, and they make my life better for being associated with them, with all of you. So I want to thank you all for being here. It was really the leaders in this group that when I came in as CEO, it was a humbling experience to have them welcome me with outstretched arms. And it's hard coming into a new company. I didn't know a lot about this industry. I don't come from MLM or network marketing, although Deb and Ken Schneider like to point out that I really do have a network marketing story, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, this group welcomed me with open arms, and I will.
That was when Brent Palmer was the flag bearer. I mean, Brent Palmer really kicked this off, right? That meeting, that first meeting that we had in Utah, that's when the electricity of our future was ignited. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah, I will forever be grateful for that very warm welcome that everybody gave me, and coming to this company and being part of this company. Yeah, so John and others wanted me to tell a little bit about my background, how it came to be that I came to this company and became part of this company. That really starts, over 20 years ago when I graduated from my master's in business program at Wharton, which is like University of Pennsylvania. It's one of the top MBA schools in the country. And it was my dream to go work on Wall Street. And I got what I thought was my dream job, working for the best firm on Wall Street, Goldman Sachs. And I went to work, and I thought I was living the dream. Started in New York and transferred back out to LA, where I'm from. But as time went on, each kind of year that went by, and then near the end, each month that went by, I became less and less excited about this job, this career. I kind of felt like it was all about the money, all about, helping. These were large private foundations that I was helping manage their assets, and some large families. And, basically, I didn't feel like I was doing any real good in this world. And my excitement for the job kind of went down and down each month that went by. And near the end, it got to the point where I sort of had kind of a pit in my stomach every morning as I went into the job. And I kind of felt stuck. I was making really great money, but when you get that pit in your stomach every morning when you go into your job, you don't know what to do. I felt stuck. Have any of you guys ever felt stuck in your jobs? You can put a 1 in the chat if any of you have ever felt that. But it's a horrible, horrible feeling. And you don't know what to do. And I didn't know what to do. In this kind of phase that I was going through, feeling stuck, not knowing what was going to happen with my career, I went on a fishing trip to Mexico to clear my head. And in this little small town in Mexico, where I got off the fishing boat, there was a fish market. And in this fish market, they were selling yellowfin tuna, which is the kind of tuna that we use for sushi in the United States. They were selling yellowfin tuna for 50 cents a pound. And I kind of scratched my head and thought, in LA, I pay like 20 bucks a pound. I wonder if there's some business here. And because I was going through this difficulty at the job, because I was feeling stuck, my mind was really open to this new opportunity. It was open to something different. And when I saw this, I thought, well, I'm going to explore this. This seems like there may be something here. And a buddy of mine who had lived in Mexico before, spoke Spanish, I sent him down there to research everything because I was still working my full-time job. And he found a fish processing plant in this little town that the government officials had built, but then everybody stole all the money and this plant was shut down. So we were able to rent this fish processing plant in this little town for a very reasonable price. And that's really how we started. We brought in Japanese technicians to teach the fishermen how to properly kill and bleed a fish so that it could be used for sushi. And then we started trying to recruit the fishermen. So we put a bunch of money. Yeah, it gets a little funny here. We put a bunch of money in this. We've been going down here for a few months, getting everything all set up. There were around 1,000 fishermen in this region. And in this part of Mexico, nobody really trusts the gringos, the foreigners. And so of this whole fleet of fishermen, we only got one, literally one single fisherman to fish for us right at the start. And I thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going to lose everything. But we decided we were pretty far invested already. And we thought, well, we're just going to go with it and see what happens. And so he started fishing. We started selling his fish. And because the fish was such a high quality, and so these fishermen would go out and come back the very same day. So it was the absolute freshest fish you could get. And with the methods that we learned from the Japanese technicians, the highest quality you could get. And because of that, we were able to pay him in that little town in Mexico, $2.50 a pound. He'd been selling it for 50 cents a pound, 5 times what he had been making before. And so take a little bit step back. In this part of Mexico, as in many developing countries all around the world, the fishermen are, the fishermen that fish for their job are very poor. It's a very difficult job. They don't make a lot of money. They live in very humble circumstances. And this fisherman was no different than those other fishermen all around developing countries all over the world. And so this fisherman, after 1 month of fishing with us, selling his fish at $2.50 a pound, he went out and he bought a pickup truck, which in this town in Mexico took him solidly into the middle class. It dramatically changed his life in this very short period of 30 days. And as you can imagine, he was thrilled. His wife was thrilled. They had a small child. They were looking for a little bit better apartment. And I mean, his life dramatically improved. Of course, he went out and talked to some of his fisherman friends. And then those friends went out and talked to their friends. And their friends talked to their friends, and their friends talked to their friends. And within about 3 months, we had the entire fishing fleet fishing for us. And every single one of those fishermen basically was making 5 times what they were making before. And their lives were changed forever through what we were able to do down there together with these fishermen. And through that process, through starting this business, it really changed my life. As I would go down there, the fishermen, they would throw these kind of barbecues, these asados for me. And they would present their children to me, their wives to me, thank me for the way that their life had changed. Like I said, that changed my life, really. I had what started off for me as just a financial decision. This is an investment. It's going to be great. We can buy the fish, pay them a little more, and we can make money. It'd be a great investment. Changed into something where I saw how a great investment done properly with a focus on the people could change the lives of all who were involved. And that's what happened in this situation. And it changed my goals for what I thought my investments should be like in the future. So we basically took this model and went and expanded all over the world. We started in Brazil and then Indonesia and all over Southeast Asia and all in the Pacific Islands. And we ended up in many countries all over the developing world, all these fishing communities, and the lives of tens of thousands of these fishermen were dramatically improved through the work that we were able to do together. And it was, up until now, one of the most meaningful, if not the most meaningful things that I've ever done in my life. So from that experience, I had this vision of what investing could be. It could be investing where, yes, you're going to make some return, but it could also be something that changes the lives of everybody that you work with. And that part of the business is what really got me excited. Yeah, it was an investment. Yeah, I made good money, but what I really enjoyed and what I like to do was go spend time with the fishermen, hear their stories and hear how their lives were improved and figure out ways that we could even do better and give more back to the communities. In all these little communities, these little villages where we worked, we started building schools. We built wells where they had water issues. We started supporting a chain of orphanages, and it was incredible. And I absolutely loved it. So we fast forward a few years, and I got to take one step back. One other little thing that happened that kind of led me to this company is that about 2 years ago, I'm 51 now, between age 40 and 49, I had lost 20 pounds or more 4 times. 4 times. It was just like yo. It was horrible. And I'm 49 years old, and my doctor having my annual physical, and he says, you can't continue like this. Your blood pressure is getting a little bit high. Your blood sugar is off. You're getting buildup of cholesterol. It's like, you've got to do something. Otherwise, you're going to have a diminished quality of your life, and you're not going to have the great life that you want to have for yourself. And so over the next 6 months, I lost 50 pounds. And I got back to the weight that I was when I finished my undergraduate university degree. And that was 2 years ago. And I've kept that off for 2 years now. And at the same time, I also started using supplements regularly, which I'd never done before. I mean, now I take like a handful of supplements. It's like, I mean, it's big, all in one, just one swallow. I take the whole thing every morning, and that transformed my health like you can't even believe. Every one of those issues I was having in my blood markers, I'm now in the lowest possible risk category. I'm super healthy. I have tons of energy, and I feel great every single day. So those 2 things happened and really changed my health, changed my vision of investing. And then we go back to 3-4 months ago, about 3 months ago, when John comes to me and talks to me about the opportunity of investing in this company. They needed some investors. So I started looking at it. I initially decided to just put in some money, kind of as a passive investment, provide kind of the funds that the company needed for the growth capital that they were looking for. And then within the next week, there was a big event in Barcelona. And John said, you've got to come to Barcelona and see it in action. So we went to Barcelona, and I'm on the back row in the audience, listening to the stories of all of the brand partners that were up on the stage. And they're giving these just inspiring stories, pure inspiration about how their health had changed, how their finances have changed because of this company, because of the work that this company does, and because of their association with this company and working with these products. And as I'm sitting there, listening to their hopes and dreams and their goals for their life, I start changing. I start kind of envisioning what my life could be like, how my life could be different. And I start taking on some of their hopes and dreams, start becoming mine. And this happened over this 2-day period of time. And I came out of that and I told John, I want to be more involved in this company, maybe even run this company. And really that's what happened. That's how I ended up here. I saw the opportunity to not just help on the business side. Over the years, I've developed some really, pretty good experience running companies. And growing companies, building companies. And I felt like my skills would be helpful in this situation. But then what I really liked was the ability to help people change their lives all over the world on a much larger scale than I've ever been able to do before. And that's what gets me really excited. That's what gets me up every day, is knowing that that's the work that we do. We're helping people change their health. We're helping people change their finances. And that's really what gets me excited. What I love most about this business and meeting brand partners, meeting many of you on this call, is that the same thing that drives me drives each one of you. If you were in this just for the money, you're not going to be successful. You have to love to help other people and love to help people's lives change. You have to have a kindness for other people and a desire to lift and build people around you. So you and I, we all share that. We are the same in that. And that is what is going to make this company grow to levels that it's never grown before, because we all share the same vision, the same desire to help people grow. And that's the most core thing that we have as a company moving forward. So I guess vision, a little bit vision of the future.
Yeah.
So when I came into this company and provided this capital infusion for the company, my first greatest goal is to help as many people as we can all over the world, improve their health, improve their finances, and know that we have done the very best that we could do to help as many people as possible. That's the number one goal. The second goal, which is very closely related to that, is you are the ones that build your businesses. All we can do is be here to serve you and provide a platform for you to do that. That is what our job is. That's what my job. My job as CEO, I serve you. I serve all of you. All day long, every day, I think about what you all need to build your businesses. And that's what we provide.
It's a true partnership.
Yeah. There's a reason why we call you brand partners, because we, all of us, are partners in this together. We provide a stable platform. We provide products. We provide kind of anything that you need to go out and build your businesses. And our greatest goal is to provide a company, a platform that not only we can be in for the rest of our lives, because we love this business so much, but something that you all can build and know that you will have for the rest of your lives. And not only the rest of your lives, we want you all to build an asset in your businesses that's so valuable and so stable and so strong that you can pass that on to your children and your children's children. That is what our vision is for the future of the company and for the future of all of you. We take this concept and this idea of being partners very seriously. This relationship that we have it's a very special one. I would say it's a sacred one. It's a very serious responsibility on both of our parts, this partnership. We work together to build and grow and help as many people as we can. And we are partners in that, and we always will be. As I go around and I meet brand partners and I meet all of you and I hear what you are going through, I hear what challenges you face, what wonderful things are happening. I want to hear it all. Anything that we need to do better, I want to hear it. I really do, because we're partners. And I want to uphold our end of the partnership and make sure that you have everything you need to grow and build your businesses. So I thank you all for being who you are, for the love that we all share of helping other people better their lives. I thank you for all the hard work that you spend on your business, building your business and helping people around you. I have so much confidence in the beautiful company that we're going to build together. We come at this with years of amazing products, compensation plan, Bill of Rights, Partners Council, Founders Club, all these amazing things that we have already. We're going to take those and we're going to build something even more special than any of us could ever imagine. And I'm just so excited for the future.
So that's a theme. You know, Darrin spent his life partnering with people and bettering people's lives. We partner with you in your health. We partner with you in your finance. We partner with you in your dreams. Because as I have the opportunity to travel around the world and talk to people, people join this business because they have a dream. They've got something that they want so much that they're excited to partner with other like-minded people and go for it. And that's what's so exciting about our future. Now, I've got a couple of milestones coming up in our future plan. We've got the big global event first week in February, and then each one of the regional locations will have their own event to add a capstone on top of that global event. We've got trips planned. Again, lots of regional trips planned, and we've got events planned throughout the year, all with beginning with the Catalyst Club. There's an opportunity to get some lifetime recognition, to get some lifetime special access, to spend time with successful people. So this is something that creates a tremendous energy right now to go out and build your team between now and February. Those new people that come in, they get an additional 90 days to achieve the same thing. This is really geared towards new people. So you want to get them in so that they can start their own 90-day clock to achieve a Catalyst Club recognition that they can carry with them throughout their entire career. We have amazing things planned this year. So really take a look at your own business and nail down your own business plan and make goals and just be daily consistent. Chris, I love inspirational stories. We heard a couple at the beginning of this call. I'm going to turn the time back over to you, but I've also got this couple from Europe. When the timing's right, they've got this inspirational story that I think everyone will love. I mean, I love stories of success starting from zero. There's a lot of people on this call that might be starting from zero right now. And when you hear this story, every single one of these leaders, Chris, you started from zero, right? There was a day when you got your first order. You got your first sign up. And it was so exciting. And now look at, you've been consistent throughout your career and you've achieved a level of success.
You know, John, you say that, and I still do remember 21 years ago, I got a check for $99. You would think I had just won the lottery. It's funny how moments that you look back on, and it seemed like insignificant at the time, but it proved to me that this industry was working and it would work. And I was excited about that. And yes, and I'm going to bring up some of our co-hosts because I want some questions, and we'll bring up your folks from, I think they're from Italy. They're there visiting. Am I right? From Italy. So we're going to bring them up. We'll bring them up at the end, but I have to apologize. Ken Bailey is one of my good friends, and he was somebody that I just skipped him on purpose. And Ken's like, okay, you know, I sent him a text. I realized I was trying to go through what the people we had as co-hosts, and I just left Ken off my list. So Ken, I'm going to let you start, you know, with any comments you might have, and then ask a question.
Well, thanks, Chris. I'll be really brief. We want to get to that couple. First, I want to thank Chris for being persistent and consistent with this call for 6 years. There's almost 300 people on here this morning. Anthony
amazing.
Morley in the background all the time, carrying things on. Just so many people make this happen. And certainly want to thank John and Darrin for being on and running around the world, you know, and the sacrifice away from their family. John's got a group at his home. Take that time. We can't be more thankful. But two quick thoughts, Chris. You were talking earlier about we don't treat, diagnose, or cure anything. Guys, that's true. But always remember, even though we don't cure the common cold, we do cure the common broke. Okay, always remember that. But the last thing, Chris, we've been talking about transformation, and John's getting ready to introduce an amazing transformation. But folks, you know what? I was thinking about this last night, Chris. We've been missing the biggest transformation of all. Think about it, our company. Guys, just 4 months ago, we were extremely unhealthy, headed in the wrong direction, making bad choices, very overweight, if you will. And 4 months later, we might be the most fit company in the entire industry. $300 million debt free. Right. Think about that. You're talking about the transformation. Our company's transformation is perhaps the biggest of all, Chris. And couldn't be more excited. You know, I've been blessed to be in the industry also for 21 years. And there's 3 or 4 times in those 21 years where I would say it's the most pivotal moment. And it's right now is maybe the most pivotal of all time. Couldn't be more excited. And thank you once again for everybody.
Love that, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. You know, I think you're so right. I actually I'm going to add a story that you reminded me of. I actually met with the owner of a company about 2 weeks ago, and he explained what was going on. And he said, I don't know how I can compete with you guys. I mean, you got a debt-free company with this many brands. He said, I'm still trying to add a single product. You guys have got literally multiple brands, not just products. You got multiple brands with multiple products. He said, plus I know your compensation plan is the best in the industry. So he said, competing with you guys is not going to be easy. So Coach Palmer, you got y'all first because you're at the top of my screen on the right side. So we're going to give this to a question. Deb, you can, Dr. Kristal, Andrea, anybody wants to ask a question, James, we just want to ask them a question, then we'll let them bring up the people from Italy, let them tell their transformation story.
So Chris, I'll go. First of all, John, Darrin, thanks for all you're doing. And I know you're doing it because for the people. And I do have a question. It's in regard to the Catalyst Club, but before I do, as I sit in here and listen to this call, it's like the perfect thing is coming together. First time I ever met Darrin, he talked about unification around the world. And I see it happening. I see blurring the lines of sponsorship and just saying, hey, let's go build the biggest company in this industry. And I see it happening. And it takes time to merge unity, you know, to take and bring unity together. And I see you guys doing that. And I see a field doing that. I got to compliment the field, all of you on the call this morning, because you've come to this new company that we're about to get ready to announce a new name very soon, with your hat in your hand saying, let's go build this. We want this for the future. We want to build a legacy company. And John, I think it's the perfect coming together because Darrin, you possess the CEO mindset of companies and previous companies that with a visualization that we've got to run a tight ship. Profitability is important. Getting products to the end consumer is important. The placing the order is very important. The packaging it is very important. And you understand all the logistics and the operations and the financial side. And a lot of companies have that, but they don't have any vision to someone that has built it in the field. And I look at our company and I go, we've got Darrin as a CEO that understands all of that. And then we flip it and we've got John Wadsworth that understands building it grassroots in the field. And I say this a lot. You put me in a room with a brain surgeon and he's going to spot me in 10 seconds and identify that I am not a brain surgeon. But you put me in a room with someone that has built ground floor, grassroots, on the ground with people, and they call themselves a network marketer, I'll identify you really quick that either you are or you're not. Yeah. From the minute I saw John Wadsworth, I had a chance to be a part of the opening of Africa. I had a chance to see him on the Partners Council, on the Founders Club, the way he led. I went, this is a gentleman that has built grassroots in the homes of people. And I believe between the two partnerships of you guys and the company, we truly are setting up a legacy company, a legacy culture, a company that leads with love, that leads with heart, that leads with passion, and ultimately just wants to help people fulfill their unfinished business of whatever that is. And I thank you for that. And I think that's what leads me to the Catalyst Club is if you could point to one thing right now that all the brand partners on the call could strive for to be a part of this company that is getting ready to give birth to a new name, that's getting ready to give birth to the world of the culture this company is going to come out and shout to the world about. What would you say about the Catalyst Club? Like, how big of a deal is getting your name inside of that club right now? It's not about going and placing an order. It's way bigger than that. We're not trying to get sales out of our brand partners. We're trying to get the unification of going, this is the first chance that we got a chance to all come together, be a part of a significant club to lead the future of this new company. So I just wanted to get you guys, or one of you, to share your thoughts on the Catalyst Club.
Brent, it's transformational. We use that word a lot in this business, but it truly is transformational. Every single one of you knows the stat that you are the conglomeration of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. When you join the Catalyst Club, you join a group of successful, like-minded people. And this gives you the launch pad for the rest of your life. That's how important it is.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Mic drop right there. Great. All right, next, Chris. I'm not going to talk the whole time.
I wouldn't mind you talking the whole time. I love to hear Coach Palmer talk. I'm writing notes every time Coach Palmer speaks. James Zheng, I'm going to come to you right because that way I can keep up with where I'm at. You're on the screen below him.
Thank you for this time, John and Darrin. My gosh, since knowing you, we've just grown so much love for both of you, hanging out with you in Tahiti everywhere. So it's an honor. I have a question actually, because I see what you guys are doing, and you guys are boots on the ground, running, you're building, and I love it. And one thing that I've been fascinated by is the topic of dreaming big and true vision, but not just dreams, but dreams that are met with reality. And you guys have both done so much in your careers, and even we're seeing it right now in front of our own eyes as well too. There's a certain method that you have on taking a dream that you've never done before to turn around this company in 4 months. That's like a miracle, right? But it's also a method. Like, these are laws that you're implementing. So I'd love to hear from either one of you or both of you. How do we dream and actually like translate it into the reality?
You want to start?
Darrin has done this multiple times.
Yeah.
You know, I've been with one company for my entire career, so I've had this huge dream that I worked at every day, but he's done it multiple times. I'm going to let him talk about the principles.
So that's an interesting question. I don't talk about these things a lot. I just do them.
That's a principle right there. Less talk, more action. Huh?
In any situation, like even with this company, right? I always start with the end in mind. So really initially, when I was just going to be a passive investor, I really wasn't that focused on it. Put some money in, it's going to be investment, it'll be great, it's fine. Once I decide I want to be really involved in this company, as I was meeting with brand partners, getting to know them, understand what their dreams are, what they want out of their lives, talking to John about what is important for a company in this business, talking to the other executives, which we have incredible executives of the company already. And so it's amazing to be able to come into a company where we already have all these amazing executives who are doing an awesome job. And, you know, we just make a few little tweaks on the guidance of the company and we're, you know, moving forward and growing. But I started to develop a view of what the end game is. And that's what I always talk about. The goal of a steady business, successful, something that is everybody can grow and build. And it's so valuable that you can pass on to your children, your children's children. It's like, for me, that's the goal. So what happens is I start there and you're like, okay, I've got this goal. Now, how do we get there? And then I sit there. So one thing that you guys probably don't know about me, you see this here, I can't see. Can you see that? See that notebook? This is my notebook. This is a 5-subject Mead notebook. This is my third one. since I started here 3 months ago. I just start mapping out exactly how we're going to get there. I set goals. I set, step by step how we're going to get there. I'll have, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year goals, 10-year goals. And then it comes down to, for me, putting a pen to paper and saying, here's how we're going to get there. And here's kind of my due dates of when we're going to get these things done. In our company, there was a bunch of kind of quick little things that we need taken care of, right? So every day I'm like making a list of 30 or 40 items, or boom, 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 boom. We're heading through those every day. And then I kind of revisit the larger goal. I actually do it every day. I look at kind of go through the whole goals, the longer term, medium term, shorter term goals, and then kind of go through my daily to-do list. And that's not super complicated. Maybe you're looking for something fancier than that, but that's how I do it. I literally just pen to paper, start going through my to-do list and crank through and get done everything that I need to get done in that day. If I don't finish that day, I roll it over the next day. And that's it. Yeah, I'm seeing other people you got their notebooks too. Hey, hold up your notebook, everybody, if you've got notebooks. And
that's these old school guys. That's old school. Got to have it in the pad. James will be in some kind of electronic system, but I'll be an old school. I'm a paper and pen guy. So
yeah, look at that. So this is this right here is how much I've got, and this is in about the last 3 weeks, this much. And then I just go and review it, make sure I'm getting everything done, and that's my system.
And it works.
It works
because it's worked again and again and again. It's working right now.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is that I always just try to focus on less talk, more action. I never want to be one of those, somebody who talks a lot and never gets anything done. I want to be the one that leads with action. And that's what I do day in and day out. I work that to-do list and I get everything done and I grow and build. And I think that's how it's done.
Awesome.
Anything you want to add?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
I'm going to come to my co-host now. I'm calling her my official, because you notice how I keep reiterating my new, better looking co-host, so makes our Saturday mornings look better. So Dr. Kristal Vance. You'll have to unmute, of course.
Oh, goodness. Oh, Chris.
You're committed.
I just first want to say to Darrin and John, thank you. Because I mean, everyone knows I'm known for being the real talk. And it has been some craziness. I know there's lots of brand new people here and on here today, and I'm so excited for all of you being here. There are pioneers here, and the pioneers are just as, and the new people, like, we're all so important and we all have such roles. And I know, John, obviously, Darrin, we just heard your story, and there is certainly pioneering in that. And John, I know, 20 years with the same company, like growing up in network marketing, in a company where that was just the norm. Like, you just took it for granted that, like, people came to a company, they stayed at the company, they never left the company. This is where they were for the long haul. And inside of network marketing, MLM, that was easy to be that way when there was only a handful of companies to choose from. And nowadays that isn't the case. They're everywhere. Yet our ownership has the mentality of stick and stay for 20 years. And so I know in 20 years, it hasn't been all roses for you. And I know that there's been ups and downs. And so for us who have the pioneers and we have the new people, like, over these 20 years, what is it that you have, like, when it wasn't all happy and celebration, what did you like key in and focus on so that you didn't get distracted? And I know that's a business mentality. I know, Darrin, you can speak to that too, because I know it wasn't roses all the time doing what you were doing with all of that. I mean, what is it that we today can take from your knowledge of pioneering and sticking and staying in 20 years? What can we focus on?
The beautiful thing about this business system is it's all about the people, right? And when you join, you go through a little transformation. You start out as a product user, you have your own product experience, and then you become a teacher. And that transition from becoming a product user who had a product experience to becoming a teacher, that is a major inflection point in everyone's career. And that's the one that I focus on. And that's all I focused on. So when you got all this stuff happening around you, the stuff that you can't control, if you focus on the people, and if you can get people to make that transformation from becoming a product experience person to a teacher, that's when your business starts to have a life of its own. You can have all kinds of things going on around you, but your business is growing because people are taking that transformational step. And I'm just finding someone every single day. Who can I get to make that transformation? And if that's all you focus on, there can be hurricanes happening around you and you're just focused on the people, and your income is stable and your income's growing. You know, and when your income's growing, life is good.
Amen. That's so true.
I'm gonna go to Ken and Dale because, you know, people talk about trials and tribulations. Guys, if there's a couple that went through some trials and tribulations, I mean, sometimes people say can't talk about things that we all went through some difficult times. But let's face it, you guys, I know how long you've been here, and I know you lost you went through some trials and tribulations. I want to hear what you think if you have a question, but I really want you to reiterate what you feel about what's changed.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everybody. It's an honor to be here. And, you know, I've dreamt of leadership like this for years, coming out of the corporate world and being in network marketing for 14 years now. I think the stars are all in alignment. And what I feel and what Ken feels is, see, I'm speaking for him, is through that adversity, you have to have it. It makes you stronger. We had gotten to a point in our business years ago, we couldn't go any further. There was no other pinnacles to make. We're the top ranks. There was nothing to do. And we put it out there to the universe. Isn't that funny what happens? Be careful what you wish for. But it was, we want more. We're not here just to retire. We're here to continue to grow. And so, boy, have we ever. But sometimes it's in the trenches and it's in adversity that you really see the leader that you are, right? It's not when you're at the top of the mountain. It's who's climbing up that mountain and where you go with that, right?
Yeah,
So
when you fall down, do you get back up and keep going? That's the thing, right?
fall down 7, get up 8.
Right. You know, we always say, don't make a decision in a valley, right? Just, you got to just stay focused and keep going in that. And just to say with John and Darrin here, I love when we were in Utah, just hearing your story, John and Darrin, but it's how you two just feed off you. You know, Darrin's corporate, John, you're in the field. So coming together, those two is magic. I mean, you're both going to learn from each other. There's no doubt about it, right? Which is going to take our company, you know, to the top. That's the advantage that we have, right? How many people that have been in the field are part of the company like you, John, involved in there? I mean, this is just, I mean, we got the best of everything right here. And then look at the people on the call. Look at the leaders we have.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this is nothing but up, right? 2023 is going to be the biggest year.
So we really resonate with people that lead with their heart, and that's how we led our business, because all the other will come if you just treat people properly and you work with them, no matter if they just want to make $100 a month or they want to make 100,000 a month. And that's who you guys are, and we're just very grateful that the stars are in alignment and we get to be a part of this. Like, we are absolutely honored, and the texts coming are just flying from all over the world. And one of them was from Sloan, and Sloan said, smart with heart. That's who they are. And so that's our little quote we're going to have always at the campfire. One thing we do, if there's any way, are we going to learn soon when that global February event is and where, so that we can put it in our goals?
A little bit of inside info, but it's either February 4th or February 11th.
Okay, that's great.
All right, perfect.
February 4th to February 11th, better mark your calendars.
But don't get us in trouble.
I know.
Don't get us in trouble.
That was, I'm a little too open because I'm from the field. If I was, I would say a thing, but anyway.
I'm from the field, we always talk.
Mark off both of those days on your calendar, Because if the big global one is 4, you do your regional on the 11. If the big global one happens on the 11th, maybe you combine it or you do it the next Saturday. But you want to do a follow-on event after that event with your teams to really chart your own. This is like the launch pad, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that global one's really important, but you want to do your follow-on one right after it.
Okay, next up, Tracy Turnberg. He knows, I hope he's looking at the screen so he knows I'm gonna come down. Make Andrea
Hey, Chris.
laugh.
You know, we're this place and everyone's shared so much information and so their feelings. We're at this place that we've never been at before in our history. And John, you and I, we've had some challenges over the last 20 years. And we've always come through with flying colors. A lot of challenges, right? And there's always
challenges.
Right. There's always challenges, and that's business. That's the nature of business. But the one thing that you can't do, and I think it's very important for us in the field to have, is this is a growth mindset. It's not a sit back and wait. It is a growth mindset, and I know you guys as well have a commitment to a growth mindset. And if you could just address that a little bit, like what does that growth mindset commitment look like in galvanization and unification of the field and where that plays a part?
So let me start and then you can do something. I just want to say one thing. I have never had progress, never seen a company grow that I was involved with, never dealt with a problem without like getting up and making it happen. Like that's it. Nothing, I mean, you're not going to grow. Nothing's going to happen if you don't get out and do it. So that's where growth happens, both in difficult times and in really great times. Nothing happens without us doing it, actually doing the work and making it happen. Nothing will happen. You will just stagnate and go nowhere. But when you decide that you want to make change and have change in your life and have improvements, you got to do it. Chart a course, and every day you get out there and you do what you need to do in good times and in bad times. The same applies.
Now, how do you get yourself to take that action? This is a concept that I've always loved. Tracy, you talked about mindset. Mindset really comes down to self-talk. We're all having this conversation with ourselves. Either you're tuned into it or you're not. Once you become tuned into it, your life changes. If you know and you can dissect the conversation and then control the conversation that you have with yourself on a daily basis, your life changes. So what kind of conversation should you be having? If it's going to be, it's up to me. You know, if you're saying things like that to yourself all day long, guess what? You can't help but act because you're talking to yourself in the right way, and that produces the right action that gets the results that Darrin's talking about.
You know, I heard a quote, you say that, I heard Jim Rohn say something I thought was so perfect. He said, you know, people always talk about change, but they don't do anything to change.
Yeah.
They all talk about a change, they want to change, but they don't do anything. And I'm guilty, by the way. I'm talking to myself here. I don't do the things it takes. Now I am going to Andrea, the one who wants to nod and smile. So what she told me, I just want to nod, smile. She's really good at nodding and smiling. But before we go to your folks in Italy, I'm gonna give Andrea an opportunity to. It doesn't matter what she wants to say. That makes it harder when you're last, right, Andrea? So I'm really picking on you.
Well, I love it. I love being picked on by you, Chris. Well, I just want to say one thing, first of all, is when you look at the numbers, like how do you know you had a really powerful call when it's Saturday morning and we've gone an hour and 23 minutes and the numbers are still high? Like it's one thing to start numbers high. It's a lot different to end numbers high. So great work for everybody. This has been a phenomenal call. But my question is kind of for Darrin, and it's nosy. Like I'm just feeling a little bit nosy this morning.
Oh no.
I want to know. So you run companies, you've done things in different, it's not personal, it's just nosy. But I want to hear your thoughts a little bit about, you know, what's the difference that you've seen, or maybe there's similarities between running the other companies that you've done and for what I think it's like 8 weeks now, being in charge and running a network marketing company and how that's felt a little bit different for you, or maybe it's felt the same.
Yes, it is exactly 2 months today. Today is our 2-month.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, it is. Just look at that. Let's see, what's the difference? Well, some of you know that I get a little nervous being in front of so many people. I was nervous before we got on this call this morning. In my mind, I'm like the guy that's in the back making everything happen. So the biggest difference in this has been the extent to which everybody wants to get to know me and hear my story and learn about me and learn about the vision for the company. That has been by far the biggest difference with other companies that I've run. Every other company I've run, I'm in the back, taking care of business, dealing with the finance, sales, everything I need to do. But in this business, it's important, but I get it. So it was really hard because, I'm kind of shy and private. Look, I don't even have social media. Maybe you guys have tried to look me up sometime. There's nothing, right? So apparently my marketing team tells me that has to change. but yeah. So I get it though. This is all of your livelihood. It's important to you who's leading the company. You want to know that the company is in good hands. You want to know that we have a bright future. You want to know that all the work that you put in now is going to pay off and you're going to be able to continue to grow and build. So it's been a big change for me, but I get it. I understand it. And I have come to love the time that I spend meeting with all of you and getting to hear what you've been through, hear your goals, hear your aspirations. And it inspires me. Every meeting I have like this inspires me. And I feel like I come away more energized, more invigorated, and to some extent, a little bit better person every time. So that's the biggest change, biggest difference.
Absolutely awesome. You make me inspired each time. The more I get to know you, the more I have been impressed with your business knowledge. I know John a little bit because we've been in a field guy, only because I met him in Costa Rica. I hate to say it, it's about the main thing. John, you have a guest there. We need to find out these folks from Italy.
So I told you I love stories, right? And
let's get us a story up here from Italy. We're all excited about you.
Couple has been on the road for 2 months. Why? They started with a Tony Robbins event because they're all about personal development. They told me that they came to America because they wanted to dream big, but you got to hear their story. I'm going to let them take my chair. Yeah. Sit down. This is Andrea and Laura. And listen to this.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Yes, as John was saying, we like to think big, and US mindset, you think big, bigger than us in Europe for sure. But anyway, we started to think big it was 2013. When I joined the network marketing industry, it was 2012. I was a young kid, basically, because I'm young now, but at that moment I was a kid living with my parents, working a normal job for 800 euros per month. And when you live in Rome, a big city, earning 800 euros, I was with my brother. He was doing the college, basically. I was full-time, but I wasn't independent. So I had to live with my parents, and it was frustrating. So we get in contact with the network marketing industry. I can say we work online, but we are here thanks to an offline situation, because my father gave to me a card with the contact of a guy making network marketing at the moment. He was a customer of my father in the assurance business. So we joined network marketing, all excited, young. We are gonna make millions in this industry. Let's go. For 1 year and a half, zero. And then we were making some events, inviting people, meeting with people. So what we know, when you start network marketing, you have to talk to people. I was and I am no, because still today I'm shy. At the moment I was more shy than now. So I was like, okay, we have to talk to people. Okay, let's do it because we want to make millions. Anyway, for 1 year and a half, zero. And the most important thing is that in that moment, our sponsor making this business, Paolo Meucci, some of you maybe you know, was looking for some online method without finding a way. And experience of Paolo plus 2 young people already online, because we didn't born with the phone like children today, but we were young with Facebook, Instagram. At that moment, we were already skilled on this, using this kind of stuff, so digital world and social media, just for losing time, because that was everybody are doing. They use Facebook, scroll it up, TikTok, and smile and have fun. But at the moment, we thought, where are the people now? Because people are going in this online world. So if this is a business of people, we have to go where the people are now. And we start to do all online. It was a long process, because for 1 year we were working online, making zero results. I remember my father and my mother saying, maybe it's better if you look for a normal job, because you are making no money, and here we need money. It was a tough situation. And we were like, okay, the situation was bad. We never miss a roof in our head, of course, and something to eat, but it was pretty bad, even emotionally, above for my father, because he got almost 100,000 in debt. So it was pretty bad. I don't want to go deeper in this situation, but it was bad. So I quit my job, and for 1 year I earned zero. My brother quit university, and for 1 year, zero. My mother was like, what are you doing? And we want to do it. Give us 6 months. It was May 2013. So we ask until December, and we say in January 2040, sorry, we are going to look for a job again, because we know that it's important. We are responsible. And so we didn't give a deadline to our parents. We gave a deadline to us. And 26th of December, we were in Miami, invited from in the Paolo's house, because we didn't have the money to go in Miami at that time. He paid for everything. He got a pretty good business, making more or less 6 figures a year, so 10,000 a month. But when you do offline, 10,000 is not enough, because you have to pay for car, fuel, events, meetings. So, but invest in us, because he saw, like he said, I saw the eye of the tiger in me and my brother. So 26th of December, first customer online. I was in Miami, Paolo's house, waking up, opened the computer, and I saw this girl giving us name, surname, credit card, everything. So all the detail that today is like violating privacy, but he was giving us even the credit card. We were like, no, it's unbelievable, it's impossible. So I put, maybe it's a fake credit card. Let's put the order. So I put the order, yeah, gone. First customer online. We were, in that moment, we realized that if you can do 1 customer online, you can do 10, you can do 100. And after that, now it's like 8 years of online, because 2014, 26th of 2013, 8 years. Now we have we have 9 years in 26th of December. So in about 2 days, 18. So in some days we will have the celebration. We always make a Zoom 26th of December for our team. So we made more than 2.5 million customers with all organization. We made more than 500 million in volume. Before Arix, we were in another company. Then we joined Arix in 2019. And we made big number because of this online system that help us to duplicate faster. Because of course, we can do business in every way. We can still do it offline. For us, it was a bit difficult because we were young, and nobody gave us credibility, and shy and everything, but online gave us the possibility to do the business, make customer, because we are very good to make customer, and duplicate on very normal people who were like doing nothing, even without a Facebook account, because they were like, okay, social, what I have to do? I use Facebook, I have 3 friends. We don't care if you have 3 friends. It's like if you do it offline and you are alone in your house. You can go out in the gym, in the bar, in a pub, have a dinner, hanging out with people. Online, for us, it was easier, faster. So we started to do online, and we duplicate on the team. And I mean, the rest, the rest, for us, the rest is history, but now it's the present, because it's not only story, it's not the history, it's the present, and it's also the future. Because we know that with this system, we are so strong to make new customer, new distributor, and keep them. Of course, we can always improve ourselves, but now we are making, of course, all of us pass through a difficult time, but it's business. Our time can help us to become stronger as person, and that is important. And online can help us to go faster. So this is very short, our story, and thank you to listen, because I mean, it's always, I'm always grateful if someone listens to the story, and if I can inspire someone to look for a new way, a new opportunity, and you can do it all. Sponsor, if you are not able to use e-social, because maybe some of you say, yeah, but I'm not good, sponsor someone who are good, someone who is online, and pass to them your mindset, your attitude, your knowledge, because this is what Paolo made with us, with his experience. And Paolo still today is chatting with one finger. When Paolo is doing chat, it's like this. And we all make joke about him, but it doesn't matter, because anybody can put their best. And Paolo give his best to us. We are giving our best to our team. Thank you, everybody. I'm seeing the chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're amazing.
Realize it. So let's go. We go forward together to build a fabulous future.
Absolutely.
In this company, all the world, all the team, all together, and that's it.
I mean, I can see there are a lot of companies outside, a lot of networkers, successful networker, but I'm sure that a lot of them are still doing, maybe some of you still doing offline, using offline method. That it's good, because if it's working, I'm not doing that you have to change one day for another. Keep doing what you are best to do, what you're able to do, and then you can add this kind of small changement one day after another. And I mean, we can literally conquer the online world of network marketing industry with our company, and share and spread our words and our mission all together.
Is very important, and we can arrive to everybody over the world, and they are waiting for us.
Absolutely. Thank you for us.
Thank you so much. I'm just, I don't know what to say, because I'm thinking when I started this call 6 years ago, that I've literally interviewed people from Canada, South America, South Africa, people from Italy, actually coming in from Puerto Rico. I'm just blown away by the whole process of what is happening. I'm getting multiple texts, because everybody's like, "Where's Coach Rowland? Where's Coach Rowland?" My sponsor and mentor here has been in this industry when I started, was Coach Rowland. And John and Darrin, I want to say a thank you to you, and I'm going to turn it to Coach Rowland. John and Darrin, you guys, I mean, you're working so hard. I want everybody to know and send a shout out to them in the chat. I mean, if you're glad they're here, you're thrilled that they're a part of the company. I think you should put a 10, not a 1. I want you to put a 10 in there, because I think we have the dream team, and I believe we're doing some special things right now. So Coach Rowland, this will be the longest Zoom I've ever done on a Saturday. And as Andrea said, nobody's leaving. So Coach, I'm going to turn it to you to close us out.
Yeah, Chris, it was some kind of awesome morning. I've been behind the scenes trying to help Anthony today. I've always Anthony helps run this, get everybody highlighted, unhighlighted, admitted in, kicked out if we need it. It is amazing job, Anthony. I really, really appreciate you always. And from Brent Palmer to Canada to every moderator, the questions that were asked today, the input, I've never switched to my phone either. I've always got a pad. I've got like 11 pages of footnotes. I'm going to end with the big 2 that I took away from this morning. But before I do, Andrea, the one thing that impresses me most and shows me how shallow of a person I am is that you just came on an English-speaking Zoom and spoke English to us. That just blows my mind. And I commend you. for being able to do that, because I could not come to Italy and speak in Italian. Somebody would have to translate for me.
And this is, I want to add something, because my English in Italy is the best, so you can imagine the rest. Basically, nobody speaking English. And if we made this kind of, we made a lot of volume customer, almost just in Italy, just 70% in Italy and some Spain and a bit of French and German, but most of our volume came from Italy. That is a small country compared to US. And another important thing is it's from, I mean, from distributor side and also corporate side, Europe is a mess for one reason. I mean, 6 or 7 different languages, different bureaucracy, and in US it's easier, pass me the term, but because everybody speaks English. So you can go online, you can achieve all over the world, people all over the world. And this is a challenge basically for us, because yes, we have an online system, but we speak Italian and nobody speaks English. So it's almost difficult to expand. And we are starting, of course, now to doing in Spanish. Now I learn also Spanish because I'm staying with Laura. So she's learning Italian, we are learning Spanish.
We
and
learn English.
English. So we are going to expand, and you can do it straight away because you speak English, and in the world a lot of people speak English. That's a big fortune, in my opinion.
You know, Chris and Brent, the rest, we've got to level up. We've got to expand our languages. I got messed up in Tahiti because I had finally gotten Spanish down, and most of my time there was spent with French. So I left saying French words to Spanish people and Spanish words to French people. But I want to end with these 3 points. One is, we were also on a Zoom a couple of nights ago with a lot of Central America and Mexico. And the one thing that is universal in all 50 states, in Canada, all of North America, into the Spanish world, the Asian world, the European world, is that no matter what language we speak, we all have the same desires for our future. We want better. We want stable finances, good retirements, take care of our kids. And this is a situation we're all in it together with a vehicle that can actually provide it. The problem with so much of the world, to include here in the United States, is we put all of our time into vehicles that never give us a chance to get financially ahead. We just trade our whole life to make a living. But Darrin said a couple of things I just want to reiterate as we take off this morning. And one thing, I don't know how he understands this so well, not being in our industry. I've never met anybody in 20 years that understands our industry better than Darrin that hasn't participated in it. So evidently the sushi thing really was almost identical, because your parallels are unbelievable. But the one thing I found out in 20 years is anybody that's in this for the money only, we all are doing this to better our lives. Let's make no secret about it. We're not holier than now, but that is only accomplished by helping other people go do the same thing. And that's the thing that Darrin hit on, is we go invest into other people's lives and get them where we want to be. And then the other thing that Darrin said this morning, and this is our challenge, the next 2 Saturdays land on Christmas and New Year's. The next Saturday Zoom will be 3 weeks out. We already have Cameron Bott and a number of guests lined up. We are all headed into the holidays around the world. This is a couple of holidays that every country kind of celebrates the same. During this time frame, this recalibration, as we set our 2023 goals, Darrin said nothing happens unless I go make it happen. Guys, even if this company goes to $1 billion in the next 3 years, if you don't go get your sliver and your market share for your family, 3 years from now, this company being $1 billion doesn't change your life. We have to take that self-responsibility. So my challenge to everybody as we get off this Zoom and have our confidence in the new ownership and where the ship is headed is that in 2023, we go make it happen for our families. We count on nobody. It's our job to go change lives. It's not our job to sign somebody up to change our life. It's our job to change theirs. So Chris, Brent, everybody, thank you. This was the most inspiring morning.
Anthony, thank you for what you do. Would you unmute the lines? If you appreciate John and Darrin, I want us all to say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you prefer, to these guys.
Merry Christmas.